Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing? This is Martha Ermias coming to you from iBuumerang Daily Inspirational. Today is Sunday, and I want to say welcome to this call. I appreciate you for being here, and I am here to share with you some inspirational message this morning. First, just for those of you who don't know me, I'm actually Martha Ermias, and I'm a Blue Diamond with iBuumerang. I have been with the company for about 10 months now. And formerly, I was an assistant dean at a community college as my career, but then eventually ventured out to become an entrepreneur and a personal development coach. So first of all, I want to say thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys. And what I want to talk about today is actually about, some of the things that actually hold us back from achieving our goals. Now, most of you who are here, I'm sure that you have some great goals that you want to achieve. You have dreams that you want to accomplish. And, maybe your goal is to get out of debt. Maybe it's the good philosophy. You want to exercise that. Or maybe you want financial freedom, which is an amazing concept, and I think we all want it, and it's something that I believe everybody should pursue, because worrying about bills, worrying about really covering your monthly expenses months to months is not fun, and financial freedom is really possible, and so that could be your goal. Maybe it is time freedom. Sometimes people have the money, but they don't have the time. Maybe they are okay with the income that they have, but they're working way too many hours that they don't have time with their loved ones or family. Or maybe you want to make an impact. You want to do something great. You want to grow and become the best version of yourself. No matter what your goal or your dream is, first of all, if you can't visualize it, if you can't picture it, then you are not going to be able to achieve it. And a lot of times this is a concept that I learned very later in life. I didn't understand the importance of visualizing your goals. I actually learned this concept at a time when I felt like it was the worst time of my life. Things were not going well. My health was not good. At that time, I was having some health issues and struggling with some health challenges. Financially, I wasn't doing very well. My business wasn't doing good. And I felt like almost the whole world was against me. That's how I really felt. And the worst thing that happens during those times is that your mind, your thought process changes, and you start to focus on what's not going, on the things that are going wrong, on what's not working. And that negative thinking is only going to keep you where you're at. And, it just continues to be a downward spiral. And during that time, I started focusing on trying to learn a few things so that I can dig myself out of the situation. And that's when I actually learned about the importance of visualization. So I started to visualize success. I instead of visualizing what was going on in my life at that time, I started to visualize what I want to see. So I started to picture what I wanted to see. And I've heard about it before. I've heard it from success coaches, from mentors, from industry leaders, and from business leaders. I've heard it being mentioned, but I never exercised it until at that time. And what I saw is actually it started to change my situation. The more I focused on what I wanted, the more I pictured what I wanted, I started to feel different, first of all, and act accordingly. And I started to change my situation. So it's very important that you actually don't lose sight of what you want. You don't lose sight of your dreams and goals. You have to make sure that they're right there in front of you at all times. Whether you create a vision board, any way that you can remind yourself of your vision, your goals, and why you're doing what you're doing, why you're pursuing what you're pursuing, you really have to picture it and visualize it all the time. But visualization is not enough. You also have to act towards it. But as you're acting towards it, there is, a lot of times people think that success, sometimes people think success is impossible. And sometimes people think success is achievable only if you take massive action once and you should get it, right? But no, you have to be very consistent in your effort. You have to be very consistent in your efforts until you actually get there, so consistency is very important. But I also want to mention another word, which is persistence. You've got to be very persistent. Now when we say persistence, it means that there is a force that we've got to work against, right? There is you've got to persist means there's a challenge. There is something that you have to overcome. Now what I want to talk about today is actually a challenge or a force that we have to overcome. And that force or a challenge is actually more mental and more personal than it's an outside force. And what I want to talk about is the comfort zone. Okay. I believe that comfort zone is the biggest dream killer or dream stealer that holds us back from where we want to go and the success that we want to achieve more than anything else. You know, about comfort zone, it's crazy because I didn't even know about comfort zone a few years back. I didn't even know that there was such thing called a comfort zone and that it was a bad thing. I actually, in my language, a lot of times I used to say, I'm not comfortable with that, So if I am asked to speak in front of people, I would say, no, I don't feel comfortable about that. And I thought it was okay. In my mind, I thought I could wait until I kind of like warm up to it or feel comfortable in order for me to do something. I did not understand that it was actually outside of my comfort zone that I could grow, that I needed to push myself, regardless of how comfortable I am or not, in order for me to grow. So your comfort zone is your biggest enemy in succeeding. And many people are actually stuck inside their comfort zone. Now, there are a few indicators that you're actually stuck within your comfort zone. And what are some of the indicators that I'm going to be sharing with you today? There are 4 indicators that I want to share with you. If you're not growing, then most likely you're comfortable, because we should be growing at all times. We should be increasing at all times, because what worked for us today, or like what got us here, is not going to be the same thing that's going to get us to the next level in life. And we've got to get to the next level in life. And there are four areas in your life that you can look at to see whether or not it's an indication that whether you're stuck in your comfort zone or you're growing. Now, the first one is your income. If your income is the same year after year after year, or month after month after month, there is no growth. It doesn't matter whether it's like, 0.001% growth, but if there's no growth, then that shows you that you're comfortable on that income. When you're comfortable with that income, then it's not growing. If your income is not growing, it could be your business. Is your business growing, or is it the same at all times? If it's not growing, then that's an indication that you're stuck within your comfort zone. A second area that we can look at is also your network. Now, you've heard the saying that your network is your net worth, right? Your network is important and your network needs to grow. So is my circle of friends, is my network the same people that I hang out with all the time, or am I increasing or growing my network? Am I meeting new people that are probably at a higher level in life than I am? People who think higher, or their mindset is much better, or people that I want to, seem out of reach for me. Am I growing my network with those kinds of people? Because your network is your net worth. It's very important. It's one of our highest resources, especially in the business that we're doing. Our network is important. So are we growing our network? And the third is, are your goals also growing? Are your goals increasing? Do you have goals that are like incrementally increasing. You know, if this month your goal was to maybe hit a rank in your business, what is your next month goal? Do you plan to hit another rank? How are you going to increase? If you're not planning to increase, then you are actually being stuck in your comfort zone. Whenever you achieve a goal and you actually don't set another goal, you're comfortable with the goal that you've already achieved. So that's already a comfort zone for you. And the fourth one could be, are you growing in terms of your mindset and your ability to face new challenges? Are you growing? All those areas indicate whether or not you're stuck in your comfort zone. And it is the silent killer of your dreams, because all your dreams, everything you want to achieve, all the goals that you have, the things that you visualize, they will happen outside of your comfort zone. They are not going to happen within your comfort zone. Everything that you've done, your comfort zone is familiar. It's the routines that you always do. You don't have to, you don't push against anything. You're comfortable doing it. You're okay with it, right? But what you've done, what you're already familiar with, is something that you've done already. That's something that you already know. So the same thing that you did yesterday is not going to get you to a new level. You've got to do something new in order for you to go to get to a new level. And something that you've not done before, something that you're not comfortable with, is going to be uncomfortable, definitely uncomfortable. So which means that you have to leave outside of your comfort zone. You have to allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Now, the difference between people who reach a level of success that some people don't is because the people that reaches a level of success are willing to be uncomfortable. Being uncomfortable is something that they embrace on a daily basis. Okay. So so the best way for us, in order, like, one of the things that I have started doing in my life, that I have started practicing in my life for the last couple of years, I would say, is that I make sure that in one way or another, I am being uncomfortable. I don't like being comfortable. Every time I am comfortable, I know that I'm not just stuck, but maybe even going backwards. So it really scares me to stay inside the comfort zone, because I know time's going to just continue to go. Like, time will pass, but I won't go to a next level, or I won't achieve. I'm like not really great getting closer to my goals. So what you want to do is, first of all, you've got to set a new goal, an increase every single month. You have to have a monthly goal. Now, we are kind of like going towards the end of August. You should start thinking about your goals for September already. Okay. You should push harder to achieve whatever goal that you've set for August. Push harder. And your September goal should be an increase than your August goal. It has to always be increasing. So set higher goals, and which means that you've got to set higher, like more activities, more, in order for you to get more results, you've got to set more activities. So think about how your goals are going to be different from last month to this month and to the next month. You've got to be increasing your goals by 5%, 10%. And the second thing is, you have to say yes more often. What do I mean by that? A lot of times when an opportunity comes, we always assess risk. If it's something we have never done before, or, we always think about the risk. I mean, should I do it? Am I going to feel bad if I did it? Will I fail? Maybe I'm not going to be good at it. All kinds of thoughts come into our, we think about those things. When we think about those things, you've got to push yourself to saying, you have to decide, I'm going to say yes to more things. And this is something that helped me grow in that area, where I used to be the kind of person that I would have to think about it for about a week in order for me to say yes or not. And the reason I want to think about it is because I want to see the pros and cons. Basically, I wanted to see I wanted to do a risk assessment. I always did that, always. But I stopped doing that. I say yes first, and I say I'm going to figure it out. I say yes, and then I figure it out. I don't like to think about it anymore, because if you think about it, you're going to think yourself out of it, most likely. So yeah, so say yes more often, and figure out a way to make it happen. Make the commitment and then make it happen. Don't try to find out for like, assess the risk and figure out how you're going to do it before you say yes. When you say yes, you're actually saying yes to risk, to the unknown, and then you're putting yourself out there to actually make it happen. So I make my planning later. I say yes first and then plan for it. That's how you put yourself in a very uncomfortable situation all the time, and that is actually how you grow. Because most of the time, if you think about it, you're going to talk yourself out of it. And then the third important thing is really keep a journal of how many times you're allowing yourself to become uncomfortable. Because sometimes, like if you're not keeping a journal, there's no way that to track whether or not you're actually doing this. So on a daily basis, how many times did you say yes to something that's without being really ready? How many times did you put yourself out there where you're actually uncomfortable in the situation every single day? And if you're keeping a journal, that journal will tell you whether or not you're actually putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation more often in a specific period of time, and it will show you whether or not you're actually growing, you're actually doing everything that you have to do in order for you to grow in all areas. So keeping a journal is important, like weekly, assess your week and see how many times did I, like, was this week did I stay inside my comfort zone, or did I put myself out there more often? So the more you put yourself outside of your comfort zone, the more you're going to grow and to reach your goals. So comfort zone is our enemy. I know you've heard it before. I'm sure you've heard heard it being mentioned, and I really encourage you to actually practice it. Put yourself out there more often and be uncomfortable so that you can grow and reach new levels in your business and in your life. Thank you so much, guys, for being here. Again, this is Martha Ermias, Blue Diamond, with iBuumerang. I appreciate you for being here. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. God bless you all.